Alright, what up guys, Andre and Crosspower, it's Mark here, and today is Thursday the 5th of March. Well, how time flies. Even though you think that you've been locked in the house all the time and things been slowing down, the time seems here been going pretty fast actually. It's been nearly a week since my last video, and then just want to give you an update of the situation of what's happening in Shanghai. And today I'm going to talk about why the travel bans aren't working. Alright, so in the last couple of days there's a lot more people out and about in the street. I can see that everywhere you go now, nearly pretty much all the shops, I've seen a few more empty shops around, but pretty much everywhere you go, everywhere you go now, there's a lot more people out. Along my street, all the little stores are open. All the nearly all the restaurants and little coffee shops, they're all back open. You can see some places here, many places there's actually people in there, and a lot of places already opened up again. So that's a good thing actually. The people are getting on with their lives. I think the weather is warming up now. So overall, I think more people are coming back. But the funny thing is, I already talked about this many times about the numbers and stuff like that. So I'm not recording, I'm not going to talk about numbers or anything anymore. Because the scoreboard, it just sounds really weird, because basically over the whole of China for the last how many days now has no recorded. There is actually no record of other infections other than in Hubei. So basically they're saying that pretty much everywhere there's no more infection. So then people looking at the numbers and they're all saying, oh look, everything looks like it's okay, everybody's coming back out. And like as we said on my previous video, is that you can think about the numbers as you will. It's just very convenient that actually they said that. But like we were saying before, with the drip feed method, the way that the way that they've been drip feeding the information to us, and actually on the Mondays gyms were supposed to open, but apparently what happened was, well, then you got another notice, the government just pushed it back again. So what they said this time, it's still pushed back to the end of April, basically. At least, well, then you've got May public holiday, so basically it's like after May now. It's at least mid-May maybe. So as we were saying before, with the drip feed of the information, I was guessing if everything is all right or not. And so one part of it is actually yes, everybody's sort of like coming back, the numbers are looking low, and they're saying that overall there's less infection. But if that was the case, suddenly they extended this thing for at least another 2 months now. So actually all these businesses, especially fitness industry, at least another couple months. And I can tell you that's going to really hurt a lot of guys, because basically now the first month is already shut down. They're already feeling the effect, and like a lot of businesses are really going under. There's many places going under. Many places are talking about bankruptcy. The good news is that the government, like we said before, the government is supporting in terms of they're paying back some, like they're delaying some tax payments, or they're delaying if you're actually operating from a government building, they're delaying the rental thing. So that's actually a good thing. So the government is actually doing a lot to help. They did extend the visas. So actually, if you a work visa now, because you actually had to go to apply for the visa, but apparently they're going to automatically extend everybody's visa for the next couple months. So that is good news. Now we can already starting to see the hit and the effect of like all these businesses being closing down. So they're getting more data in about the full effect of like what is happening on the economy. And then a lot of the tourism and flights are down 80%. 80% down. So it's a huge hit. Hundreds and hundreds of millions. I wouldn't be surprised, it already is in the billions that they've lost already. Places like, for example, the movie industry, they said that during the spring festival time, the cinema and stuff, that's usually it's about $1 million, it's about a 1.4 billion income over the spring festival. This year, 2 million. Disney's been shut down. By the time it's shut down for these two months shutdown, it's going to cost them $175 million. So, and all these figures, you're still coming up now. Lots more feeling the effect, and now the wave is rippling overseas because a lot of other countries are starting to feel the effect. They weren't really paying the notice of the virus, and also like the impact that it's doing across the world, because a lot of things that were manufactured in China would have been shipped out, supposed to be already shipped out, and would start to arrive in other countries within the month. But now, because it's been shut down for this month, basically a lot of factories haven't even gone back to work. Some factories have gone back to work, but it's all on like a skeleton crew. It's very small, and a lot of things that haven't been back to normal. So operation at a lot of factories are not up and running, so everything is still got a way to go. So one way it looks like things are getting better, and then now the other way is it looks like that it's still going to be lingering around for longer now. As you can see, I guess everybody knows now that the spread is going international, and other countries have to face this issue themselves. So I also want to talk about why the travel ban is not working. Everything starts out with a good intention, actually, because it looks like to restrict all flights and things outside. Before, they were restricting all the flights from China directly to the US or to Australia. Like pretty much every country has travel restrictions now, not only for just China but for many countries. Obviously the outbreak is in other places now, like Korea, Japan, Italy, Iran. These are all the hotspots now. So like there's all these blockade, like the blocking direct flights. And the issue on this one was actually they're trying to contain the spread, but actually now it seems like at the beginning some of these methods maybe didn't really produce the results that they wanted. And I'll tell you why. Is because if you're going to put down blocking, if you're going to block all these flights, basically you have to block all flights or leave them open. If you the mistake was that actually blocking flights, just say for example from China to the US, now that they blocked all the flights, people didn't stop flying. Some guys stopped flying. It definitely affected some guys, like some students were locked into China. They couldn't fly back overseas. The effect of not being able to fly means that a lot of students cannot go back, not attend university. So like back in Australia now, the tertiary system is hit hard. A lot of they extended again and again for the university to start, and because a lot of international students cannot fly. So this is one issue that's really hitting the academic area. Another thing is that if you restrict all the flights, then you're going to actually have issues with like medical and supplies. And a lot of places like this as well. So like they're not letting different stuff into countries or out of countries. So it's an issue that people cannot fly, or medical staff cannot get their supplies in certain places. But then you have another issue, is that if you didn't lock everybody down, people are still going to find their way through. So they're just stopping a direct flight. So people, instead of just coming straight from China to the US, they're not just going to go straight, they're going to do a detour. You're going to pass through another city or another country, and then that way you cannot even find them. So then you're going to, if you had a direct flight, at least you can actually track all the passengers that were on that flight and then once it landed, you could actually find out where they're going. But now, a lot of people, they took detours around to different countries, so they didn't actually it doesn't say that they're going to stop traveling. They're just going to find different ways to do it. In China, some guys are actually getting infected. They're bringing the virus already. Maybe the virus already went out of China, but now it's actually coming back in. There's 8 guys that came back from Italy. So they were restricted to come in from Italy to China. So they took a detour. Some guys went to Germany. Some other guys went to Russia, flew back into China. They lied about where they were from. They didn't say they were coming from Italy. So they passed through customs. They went through different airports. No one stopped them in Shanghai. And the Shanghai airport, no one stopped them. Back outside, they left Shanghai on separate cars, and then they went back into their own provinces, and actually they all found out that they were all carrying the virus. So what does that mean is that not only them guys passed through the customs, they infected the driver. They don't even know how many guys along the way, how many airports they went through. So the moral of the story of this is that even if you put a travel ban on, people are not going to be so honest. Some guy maybe he doesn't mean to do that. His intention maybe not to infect other people, and like we said, they don't even know they have the virus. And in that case, they could be going around. They just pass it on to how many people. So now they're trying to trace back the footsteps of where these guys went and how they got it, because then they could be. I think they said there's already at least 30 something people that they actually infected along the way. So it's hard to imagine that just a week ago there was only like a few cases, not even a few hundred cases like in places like Italy or something like that, and now today it's already up to they said it's already past 3,000. So then it's just it's exponentially growing. So the scary part about this is, like we said before, the numbers that you're seeing now are basically the numbers that are infected were like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. The numbers only show how many people that actually got tested, doesn't show how many people that's not tested. So a lot of guys are surprising to see the number jumping so high, but actually we already know that this is just the tip of the iceberg. This is just the beginning. There's actually like thousands and thousands of cases that haven't been detected. Once they started getting the test kits out, then you're going to really know, you're going to see a lot more guys getting positive.